We have two pre-selected questions that were arranged, and we're going to give Lawrence an opportunity to answer them. Lawrence, the first question is, in your essay, you mentioned that your overall vision for an improved Asian community of Florida is to create more Asian CEOs. In your opinion, how can AAFF achieve this and encourage that to happen?
The primary responsibility that I see for the AAFF, for the community, to go back to the slide, values. I think the AAFF needs to be a guardian of our values. It needs to instill what we hold dear as a culture and different ethnicities, and just instill that in kids. I don't particularly believe that you can force kids to follow a particular track. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. But the reason why I said more CEOs was just to establish that we need to balance financial success with community commitments. We need both integrated into our mind. And what I'm personally, the only thing I expect from the AAFF is to transmit values and teach kids the right way to do things. Going back even more, provide mentorship, transmit values. That is how the AAFF should create more American CEOs. Next one.
And the second question is, in your essay again, you mentioned that the youth's contributions today happens in such a way that when our ideas take flight, we tend to overpromise and underdeliver. You mentioned that the best way that youth can become involved is to become involved in short-term, high-impact projects. Explain what you meant by that and how you can motivate today's youth to do that.
Okay, the overpromising, underdelivering, I think that's just another way to demonstrate inexperience. And the soaring potential ruined by inexperienced delivery, that was in reference to the myth of Icarus. As you see to your left, are you guys familiar with the myth of Icarus, more or less? All right, well, just to give you a quick summary, what happened was an inventor named Daedalus had a son named Icarus, and he was imprisoned by, I think, King Midas. I forgot the king's name. He was imprisoned by King Midas on this tower, and the only way they could escape is if they flew from the tower across the Sea of Icarus, which was named after him based on this myth. And so what Daedalus did is he gathered bird feathers and he melted candle wax and he created two pairs of wings, one for him and one for his son. And Daedalus told his son, when you fly across this ocean, you can't fly too close to the ocean or else your wings will get wet and you'll fall and die. And you can't fly too close to the sun or else the sun will melt the wax in your wings and you will die. So Icarus, being a kid, plays around, does exactly that. And eventually, he keeps flying higher and higher until he flies too close to the sun and dies. And one of the themes of the myth was to show that youth have great energy and take risks that adults won't. And doing so, ignoring the advice of older people, could lead to catastrophe, tends to lead to catastrophe. So that's how I see youth. The overpromising underdelivery, again, is a fancy way to conceptualize a problem with experience. Now, with the short-term high-impact projects, I actually had an experience with my parents. My junior summer of high school, we created a $30,000 fundraiser for Goodwill Industries, in which we donated old medical folders to clinics run by Goodwill. And the reason why I like short-term projects is because you kind of get rid of the complications of long-term commitments. Kids, especially high school kids who have to depend on other people for rides, it's tough to get a sustainable commitment from them. And there's always budgeting problems. In the long term, they always get more complicated. And the reason why I like high-impact projects is because if you make the project challenging, And if you make it something that can be like mentored into something great, usually you will develop a more valuable experience. Like high impact makes a higher quality experience. That's the best way to put it.
Thank you, Lawrence. Let's give him one more round of applause. Lawrence, on behalf of the Asian American Federation of Florida and on behalf of President Brucey, they are pleased to present you with the first place Leader of the Future Award. So congratulations. It is now, congratulations once again, Lawrence.